This is a celebration of America's favorite sporting event, the Super Bowl. This is also church today.
Yes.
Now, I know some of you walked in here and you're like, bro, this ain't church. I've been to church and this ain't it. I understand that, hey, if it's a little overwhelming, if it's your first time, take a deep breath, just relax. It's going to be a great evening. We're happy you're here. Now, if you're in here right now and you're already offended, take a deep breath, relax, because that's probably going to happen a few more times before we're done today, okay? Regardless of who you are, if you've been here one time or 100 times, we are happy you're here. We believe you're in the right spot. It is going to be a great combination of football, church. It's going to be rowdy. It's going to be fun. It's going to be challenging. Are you ready to get this thing started? Yes!
Hello, Bezel T3. That was the disclaimer for the yearly Super Bowl extravaganza at Crossroads Church in Cincinnati, Ohio. Part church service, part sports spectacular. This hybrid worship service / tailgate party certainly delivers on its promise to be a celebration of America's favorite event, the Super Bowl. But as far as a church service, well, not so much. I want you to think about the golden calf incident in Exodus 32. Moses was delayed from coming down from the mountain as he was meeting with God, and the people got tired of waiting. They demanded that Aaron provide them with a more user-friendly way of worshiping God, like the way the pagans do it, with idols and stuff. So Aaron fashions a golden calf, much like the Egyptians worship. We read in verse 4, he received the gold from their hands and fashioned it with an engraving tool and made a golden calf. And they said, "This is your God, O Israel, who brought you up out of the land of Egypt." When Aaron saw this, he built an altar before the Lord, and Aaron made a proclamation and said, "Tomorrow shall be a feast to the Lord." And they rose up early the next day and offered burnt offerings and brought peace offerings. And the people sat down to eat and drink and then rose up to play. Crossroads is a megachurch with multi-site campuses in Ohio and Kentucky. And this is the flagship facility, which, as you can see, was built to look like a comfortable and inviting community center. The architecture keeps with the Crossroads motto, front and center, which is, we started this church for our friends who didn't like church. Well, folks, style is not neutral, and Crossroads' style of seeker-sensitive architecture, worship, and preaching is unashamedly on display during this modern-day Golden Calf celebration. This Super Bowl / worship celebration begins with appropriate music to set the tone for such festivities. Now, for time's sake, I'm going to spare you the lame commercials that no Super Bowl would be complete without.
Got my head checked by a jumbo jet. It wasn't easy, but nothing is. No.
Visual stimulation, of course, is required during a golden calf celebration. It's all part of the rising up to play. And to enhance the secular salivation of this experience, the church is also giving away tickets to the 2018 Super Bowl.
But if you got your phone right now, text in SB Crossroads at 313131 right now. You need to do it right now.
It seems that Crossroads likes to use this golden calf celebration to promote their next life-changing series. And of course, to keep the seats filled and the money coming in to feed that ravenous megachurch beast. Now, we're going to count how many times they plug this new series that's coming up called I Am.
Give away these tickets. Next week, we're going to announce the winner at the start of our I Am journey.
The big event at this sacred secular culture fest is a preach-off between Pastor Mingo and Pastor Brian. The pastors are scored on accurate use of the Bible. And that raises a question, does it not? Are there times when these pastors inaccurately use the Bible? And of course, preaching just wouldn't be complete without a random phrase the preacher has to cram into their presentation, now would it?
We're going to have points for accurate use of the Bible, the random phrase that will be given out prior to each half.
You see, preaching to seekers has to be culturally relevant, just like that golden calf. The thing is, there are no seekers of the triune God. Sure, people will seek experiences, all kinds, even religious experiences. But the Bible tells us that no one is righteous, no, not one. No one understands, no one seeks for God. All have turned aside. Together they have become worthless. No one does good, not even one. In fact, it is God who is the seeker. John 4, Jesus says, "But the hour is coming and is now here," because the Messiah is now there, "when the true worshipers will worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father is seeking such people to worship him. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth."
All right, we're going to take it down to Holly for the first half of preaching. Holly, take it away.
Thanks, Paco. Chuck, you're up first. Here's your random phrase. Pull one out. I'll read it aloud. Your random phrase is, "'Cause I got two phones, one for the plug and one for the load."
Two phones, one for the plug and one for the load.
All right, here we go. Who's excited to be here, huh? Who's fired up? Super Bowl of preaching. This is a blast every year. If you're new here, I hope you're having a good time already.
Okay, I am totally pumped. I am totally fired up, Mingo. Let her rip. Preach the word.
Hey, let's pray. God, I am excited that we can come to a place like this and be energized for the things you care about.
Well, that's news to me. I wasn't aware that God was a football fan, Mingo. Now he's going to talk about how the Christian life is a fight. And I agree with that to a point. Now, here are some highlights of his presentation.
See, one of the things we can think about the spiritual life is that it's a life of ease. It's a life where we don't have to worry about things. It's a life where we can say things like, "'Cause I got two phones, one for the plug and one for the load." And we think that's the life
Great
that we're called for.
placement.
Two phones, one for the plug and one for the load.
Now, you may or may not be interested in the next line of that rap song.
I got two phones, one for the beaches and one for the dog.
But you see, that's the price of a golden calf experience.
What is the fight? And see, Jesus defines it for us. He defines it timelessly for people who would go his direction. He says the church is a movement of people who are going in his direction.
Is that what Jesus meant by the church? The church is not a movement, folks. Peter describes it this way in one of his letters. The church of Jesus Christ is a chosen race, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for his own possession, that we might proclaim the excellencies of him who called you out of darkness and into his marvelous light. Once you were not a people, but now you are God's people. Once you had not received mercy, but now you have received mercy. You see, that is a whole different thing than a movement of people going in his direction.
But what I really want to know is,
I go my way.
If you're going the way of Jesus, if it has flesh and blood, it is not your enemy. People are never the enemy. Jesus says our enemy is the gates of hell.
No, Jesus said that he is going to build his church, which is his possession. And the very gates of hell, which are defensive in nature, the thing that protects hell, will not hold back Christ's church through the preaching of the gospel and the proper use of baptism and the Lord's Supper, to draw those predestined to Christ himself that are presently in Satan's grasp. Now, Mingo's right that we fight against rulers, against authorities, against the cosmic powers over this present darkness, against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly places. But we are also to fight against worldliness. John tells us, "Do not love the world or the things in the world. If anyone loves the world, the love of the Father is not in him. For all that is in the world, the desires of the flesh and the desires of the eyes and the pride of life, is not from the Father, but is from the world. And the world is passing away along with its desires, but whoever does the will of God abides forever." It seems that there is a whole lot of worldliness intermingled with the church going on here.
And so the way that you really can thrive in the fight that you're called to is you got to know who you are. You got to know who you are. That's why I'm so excited about the I Am journey. We are called as people who are going the way of Jesus to build his church.
You see, we're not building Christ's church. He is. We are the material. We're the building blocks. And the triune God, Father, Son, and Holy Spirit, is the architect and builder of the church.
Well. Excellent half. Excellent showing by Mingo. He had a Martin Luther King Jr. reference.
More than
He had a
Jesus Christ,
Denzel
yeah.
Washington movie reference. Solomon Wilcott reference. Did he talk about Jesus?
He did. He
Okay,
did.
good. That's good news too.
Yes.
That's good news as well.
Did he talk about Jesus? You know, this kind of seeker-sensitive drivel so trivializes the gospel of Jesus Christ that it becomes another gospel altogether. Now, you realize it doesn't take much worldliness to contaminate the pure gospel. Now, here's an example. This is the pure gospel right here, both of these, okay? And this is worldliness. Now, it may look white and unassuming and non-threatening and not a problem, but this is not even a quarter of a teaspoon here, okay? I'm going to put this in here. Just a little bit of worldliness into the pure gospel. Let's stir that up. And you can see it's no longer pure gospel. It's actually something entirely different. It's another gospel altogether.
Well, we hope you're having fun today, and most importantly, we're hoping we get to the end of our time today being pushed a little bit spiritually. If you go to a Super Bowl experience or you go to a concert, it is very, very common to see people singing stuff or chanting things, standing up on their chairs and getting all fired up. And then we come to church and we're like, here I am at church, just sitting here. I can't get too excited. I can't get too emotionally engaged.
Friends, the worship of God is not the Super Bowl or a concert. It's an entirely different kind of gathering, one in which I would not want people standing on the chairs. But that doesn't mean there is no emotional engagement. The psalmist spoke about true worship in Psalm 96. We read there, "Sing to the Lord, bless his name, tell of his salvation from day to day. Declare his glory among the nations, his marvelous works among the peoples. For great is the Lord and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. For all the gods of the people are worthless idols, but the Lord made the heavens. Splendor and majesty are before him. Strength and beauty are in his sanctuary. Ascribe to the Lord, O families of the peoples. Ascribe to the Lord glory and strength. Ascribe to the Lord the glory due his name. Bring an offering and go into his courts. Worship the Lord in the splendor of holiness. Tremble before him, all the earth."
Go ahead and stand up right now. We're going to have the opportunity to sing. We're going to have the opportunity to engage. These soldiers for the king, these brothers bound for battle. Yeah, train our hands for war. Train our hands. And our feet. Now I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. You're like, what? Is this church music? This isn't church music. Well, the Bible says to make a joyful noise to the Lord.
Yes, that's true. Psalm 333. 333, that's kind of neat. Well, that also says, sing to him a new song. Play skillfully on the strings with loud shouts. But does this give license for mediocre musicians to mimic the secular rock and roll concert culture and pass it off as songs to the Lord?
And so me and my buddies, we're like, we should take some of those songs we know, we should make them like awesome. Like, this is the music that we like to play because it's rowdy and it's loud, and I think it makes God happy. So I invite you guys to sing with us and just to let yourself go a little bit. It doesn't have to sound pretty, it just has to sound loud, all right?
I'll say it again, style is not neutral, folks. It has consequences. Listen to this. Now listen to this. You know, so much for playing skillfully on the strings. I mean, what they're doing is kind of like playing a banjo at a funeral. Okay, here comes the second half.
Brian, here is your random phrase. Please choose one and I will read it aloud. And that's why I can't drink milk anymore.
Oh man, I tell you, the best way to find yourself is not to look inside of yourself. That's the way many of us try to find ourselves. We just got to look inside of ourselves. One of the ways that I found myself or learned something about myself was doing something that's becoming increasingly controversial today. It's called playing football. To have things happen to you that would break other people's bones, and that's why I can't drink milk anymore, because my bones have been so broken all over the years.
Well, I happen to know that milk helps build strong bones, so drink up.
But he had 33 years of delaying gratification. 33 years of walking around with a bunch of guys trying to change the world.
What are we gonna do? Change the world.
No. Contrary to Mark Burnett's moondoggy hipster Jesus, he came to, as it says in John 18, he says, I was born for this purpose. I have come into the world to bear witness to the truth. Everyone who is of the truth listens to my voice.
We need all of us being the best version of ourselves possible. For God to do in and through us what he's doing, you have to be on your game, and you have to be pushed from time to time. You've got to train yourself from time to time. You've got to be up for somebody speaking into your life. And that's why I'm saying the world needs us to show up next week at the I Am Journey.
See, as I look at this, I see that this whole thing, the Super Bowl preach-off and this whole golden calf worship experience was nothing more than a promotion of the next big thing that will keep feeding the megachurch beast. Something that the unchurched seekers will want to be part of.
Congratulations, you guys. Any last words?
Yeah, bring it on home.
One, you know what you talked about, team? The best thing you can do next week is make sure you're getting into a small group. We'll help you do that, but if you go to crossroads.net/groups, wherever you are, you'll find groups in your area at times that work for you for the I Am Journey. Let's all be in a group and go to a next place together.
The next place? Well, exactly where is that, Mingo?
So we'll see you next week. Have an amazing weekend, a great Super Bowl.
No biblical benediction like the Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up his countenance upon you and give you peace. But rather, have a great Super Bowl.
Guys, it was great to be together this weekend, and next weekend is going to be awesome. It's the start of the I Am Journey, and so I want all of us to come back here next weekend to kick off the journey together. The I Am Journey, and so I want all of us to come back here next weekend to kick off the journey together.
The I Am Journey. Well, you know what? We have just got to find out why we must be part of this journey so that we can go to the next place. So, stay tuned and let's find out if this I Am Journey and going to the next place is all that it's promoted to be.